Gentlemen, start your engine!
Drivers, start your engines!
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Remember what I told all my drivers? Reach up there and pull those belts tight one more time. Drivers, start your engines!
And gentlemen, start your engine!
Fix it for Austin there. Welcome back to another episode of the Green White Checkered podcast. Damn, that did not go away quick. But welcome back to the podcast. I am Andrew, joined with Zach, Joe, and Austin. And we have a little Roval recap for you, a little Vegas pre-show. Going to update you on the playoffs and NASCAR just screwing everything up this weekend.
I sure did.
So,
Typical.
Yeah, typical NASCAR. But before we get started, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button on YouTube, and a little update for our Toys for Tots Fantasy Football League. We have dropped to 32nd place ever since Zach insisted we put in Dick Buckus, who is dead and getting us 0 points every week. So,
Thanks, Zach.
I thought you guys second win.
Yeah, yep. But other news, let's get into the NASCAR stuff. We had an elimination race at the Roval. New layout, pretty much made for, dive bombs and wrecking. Saw a little bit of it, right? What do we think of the new layout, guys?
It didn't cause as much chaos as I thought it would that turn set. Like you did have, obviously you had the Reddick and the Denny thing, and then you had a couple smaller things, but it didn't everyone was like, oh, there's gonna be this crazy green white checkered and somebody's gonna just ship some guy to the moon. Didn't really get that. It still was intriguing. I mean, it was different, I guess, like that part of the 5 to 7. But I don't know. I thought it was fine, but you definitely NASCAR didn't get what they wanted, I don't think, out of that.
I feel like they did. I mean, I feel like it created a whole new passing zone. Like there was still a lot of good dives in there. It reminded me a lot of the last infield turn at Daytona.
Yeah.
As far as the run up to it, the turn itself and everything reminds me a lot of that. But I think we did see a lot of good action there, and I thought it was kind of got their result. Maybe not as much chaos as NASCAR might have been hoping for, but I think it still opened up a whole new passing opportunity that I think the Roval has been lacking. Because before that, I mean, you had turn 1, and then it's pretty high speed throughout the infield. No real hard braking zones, really through much of the old infield. And then your next hard braking zones, the backstretch chicane and then the front stretch chicane. So I think that, I think that it was a great addition. I was a little concerned about what it would do to the oval going into the backstretch chicane, but I think that was fine. I think the changes to the front stretch chicane made things interesting too. I was a big fan of the new layout. Obviously, we can get into if they think the Roval should stay or not, but I think it definitely made it a better product than what we've seen recently there.
Yeah,
Zach?
I think it's pretty good. I mean, it was probably, as far as next gen standards go, it was a pretty good race for next gen, and I think Xfinity was even better. You saw a lot of good moves through there, and I was kind of after I was done watching Cup Cars qualify, I was kind of like, I'm not so sold this is going to be the big chaotic thing everybody thinks it's going to be. Because everybody thought it was just going to be somebody's going to be a bulldozer wrecking all the cars out of the way in there, but I didn't really see it happening just because you have that turn 6, which is sort of that high speed right hander, and I just kind of figured that would sort of prevent a bunch of cars bunching up. I think we had a worse situation back when they would restart and skip the last chicane and go into turn 1. I think that was a more perilous situation than turn 7 was or would be, just because you have everybody there at one time. So yeah, I think it was, as far as making the Roval better, yes, I would agree. I didn't like the changes to the last chicane. I thought that was a little much. but I think they tightened up the back chicane and they did that turn 7 change, and I liked it. I thought the track raced pretty well. But I'm sure we'll talk about it. Like Drake sort of hinted at, is whether we should keep the oval or keep the Roval or go back to the oval. That's another conversation. But as far as what they did, I'd say it was success.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it helped kind of what they wanted. There were some incidents. I mean, mainly Austin Dillon causing them, or
Carson Hocevar.
Yeah.
And so I think they got a couple incidents out of it. I mean, really, was there anything else except for the chicane little incidents? I don't think there was. But then I don't know. Is that, or Austin said it created some passing. I mean, you guys were coming around that turn, going 3 wide or 2 wide, and just kind of dive bombing it. We saw it really a lot with SVG on Saturday. Man, he was making those kids in the Xfinity series look like fools. He was going by 3 of them at a time, going through the field. It was, I don't know. I think it was Lee Diffie was like, "Is anybody ever going to stop him?"
I'm going to do anything about that.
Well, I mean,
back to the field.
It's just I think the Xfinity car, like just the way it handles and stuff like that, like it opens up more lines. So I think it gives him more options. It seemed like with the Cup car, either the guys are smarter or it's just there's fewer lane choices or whatever, of like, just because of more grip and more gears and all that stuff. Maybe it doesn't open itself up to as many passing opportunities, quite as many as the Xfinity car, but it seemed like a lot of guys figured out that if you just like cut the exit and hold it low, like they're not going to get around you. Like I think Larson tried a couple times. I saw a couple people do it, like as a defensive maneuver, is you just hug the inside and like the guy cutting under you can't really do much. But
yeah,
you did see some different lines. Like you could see some people enter, sort of high and cut down low and exit low, or vice versa, enter low and track out high. So I don't know. Like I said, I think it was a success. I think it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And something you alluded to earlier, we saw before the race started and on Sunday morning, so after practice and all that, they changed the turtles going into the last chicane before the front or before the start finish line. I don't even really know what to say about this. Austin, how you feeling about it?
That was fine. I think, like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. We obviously talk about the penalties that were given out or not given out, where we saw Bubba receive a penalty for getting all 4 off the rumble strips and onto the blue. And then you see Byron do the same thing, like not a few laps later and nothing. I mean, to be fair, Bubba's was a little bit more egregious from what I saw. He definitely cut a little bit more than Byron, but still there's a clear frame of at least one frame of Byron, all 4 off the surface. So I just, is there a little bias? One, the team that wasn't penalized was Hendrick, and 2, the team that was penalized is currently suing NASCAR. Maybe, I don't know. Could be
Interesting.
Very interesting there for sure. But I mean, obviously everyone's pointing out the Byron, but I wonder if there's other ones that were missed too. And obviously people want to cherry pick the more new headline worthy misses there. But still, for that to be a very clear example is kind of interesting. But I don't mind the flat turtles, the flying turtles.
I think the thing that stuck out to everybody for Byron was it was the very same corner that Bubba, like it was like that exact
same lap,
moment.
everything.
Like they're showing the breakdown in the replay of Bubba cutting it. One car behind Bubba is Byron,
right?
And they are playing through Bubba crossing it, and then you see Byron come in and cross it. So it's
I did forget that was the same lap. Yeah, I missed.
It was like the same lap, the same corner within car lengths of each other. So I think that's where I was like, wait a minute now, and that's the big thing I have. Like it's just more NASCAR judgment calls. I don't like that. Because they're so wildly inconsistent. I mean, right there is a perfect example. But I don't know.
Would you prefer an automated system? Like I think that's what Formula One has is automated.
I guess if it's reliable
or pit speed.
Yeah, I mean, if it's if you can give me some sort of reliable thing where it's like calling it the right way, or whatever the agreed upon method is, as long as it's calling it the same way every time, sure, I don't care. Yes, I would.
Here's what
prefer
you
that.
do. You had an automated system that on screen, so on our thing, it pops up and says like under review or something for that driver. So we know that guy got hit by this camera, but then
Right.
NASCAR has to actually look at the photo or whatever and say, yep, that's it, or no. And that way the broadcast might call them out on some bullshit, or even fans can go
Broadcast will
back and
never
watch
They're not
it
call
allowed
on
to.
board.
They're not allowed to call them out on
Yeah.
bullshit. So they will not be doing that. But no,
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
then-
Because that was my thought too. Is like if it's automated, what's still stopping them from, not acknowledging that they got an automatic ding on Byron, right after the different, you know what I mean? But yeah, something that.
Oh,
some kind of
whoops, we lost
accountability
that
there.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry
shoot.
guys.
Yeah.
That one
Got
didn't
lost in the
ding, so
mail.
it's automated system. So I don't know, guys. We didn't
Oh,
catch
shoot.
that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a pain in the ass because like we all know NASCAR is inconsistent. Track limits aren't something we typically enforce anyway. Which is why it's kind of like, I don't know, just leave the corner the way it was. Or
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Turtles worked for the Xfinity car, but then this thing's so damn rigid that they were getting like concussions every time they hit it. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Fix the fucking car. How's that?
Bingo.
I don't get how we made this car try to be the most like IMSA looking, GT3 type thing. And we made the suspension just rock solid. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like you can watch IMSA go and just nail the turtles over and over, and then we're like, oh, a little bump, concussion.
To the moon.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much the suspension or like I'm not even gonna pretend to be an engineer. I'd like to. On Twitter, I do.
Yeah, you
But-
do.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much as like just the suspension itself or like the frame and the structure as a whole. Like there's just no give to it. I don't know. I don't understand because I think our cars are just judging and guessing. I think our car's body is stiffer than like an IMSA GT3 car.
Most likely. I know
think-
they have said, or I can't remember what podcast it was, but the drivers were talking about how they do run the car just stiff as hell, almost
Mhm.
solid as far as like the right rear.
Yeah.
As far as suspension goes, but
And I'm sure there's games that they have to play with the suspension because everything's about that diffuser. So like there's things they have to do to make sure that diffuser's at like the maximum or the optimum height from the ground, whatever that is. There's all kinds of stuff going on, I'm sure. And I don't know.
yep.
The cars just suck.
I as far as the change goes, though, it's weird to me because you change it Sunday morning after practice qualifying. Everybody's been on track. So drivers are going to take a different line, but you also don't really clarify what the rule is for
Right.
cutting the turn. And we saw, who was it, Todd Gilliland and Denny, like instantly on Twitter say two different things. And it's like, which one is it? And then, we do see drivers pretty early in the race getting penalties. I don't know. Just do better NASCAR. We do this every time we go to a freaking road course. We have tall turtles, we take them away, and we put the short ones on. Just keep the short ones. If you don't like them going over it, then penalize them for something. Yeah.
The turtles just in general in motorsports.
You put tires on the
idea.
blue, penalty. Boom, done. Over.
Did you ever see that clip of that? There's a Porsche in Monza that like the guy like spun out or something like that, and he hit one of the turtles and it flipped them over. Like,
Yeah.
like, these things are just a terrible idea. I don't know why racetracks keep installing them. Like you're just putting ramps all over the place.
The F1 cars doing backflips every time they hit a turtle and stuff like that. It's just like, damn.
I mean, could you put gravel there? I don't know, but then you're getting gravel over the track. That probably wouldn't be a good spot for gravel. Some other places that might work, but not there.
Yeah, they do like a little rumble strip now to where it just loses traction and makes it worse. I don't know.
Well, you know why they used to not cut, run Watkins Glen 1 and the carousel so wide? It used to not
Tires.
be paved all the way.
Yeah, it was
grass.
It was grass because I was watching, in my venture to watch old races. I was watching the Watkins Glen race. Like, oh shit, they got a bunch of grass there. I was like, that's why this is a new problem.
I know that from emulating NASCAR Racing 03.
Are you saying going wide or?
Yeah, when they would go wide, like there was some asphalt runoff, but like it wouldn't. Like now, if you look at it, the asphalt follows the fence all the way out, and then the fence kind of goes out way wide for turn 1, and then tapers back in before you get to the S's and meets the edge of the track, and it's all paved there. It didn't used to be. There used to be like a good section where it starts to taper back into the track where it was just grass.
Yeah, they
Same
had
thing for
gravel
the
there for
carousel.
quite a while. I mean, what was it, 2002 when Jimmy Johnson jumped the gravel? But
Mhm.
it's, I don't know. I miss those days, honestly, because you saw more dive bombing going in to where now it's just like, just run it wide open and make the turn, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But-
it doesn't put the guy on the outside at any sort of disadvantage. He can just run as wide as he can. He can, run all the way
For
to
NASCAR,
Wisconsin
we
if he
want
wanted to.
the restart entertainment. That's all that
Yeah.
is. All
I think
right.
we need to put spike strips
There you
on
go.
all the runoff zones, all and inside all the corners and the track limits.
Mhm.
That'll teach them.
Spike strips, and then like if it's really far into it, you add those little like concrete pillars that pop out of the ground.
Yeah, like government buildings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay. Well, let's actually get to the race here. What was it? Kyle Larson who was on pole? I don't even remember. But
Was
race
it-
starts. Kyle Larson pretty much just dominates. Oh, it was SVG, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was SPG.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He had it for the Xfinity and the Cup race. Good for him. He's fast at road courses. Go figure. But
Didn't win either
Yeah.
one.
yep, didn't win either one. But Kyle Larson starts off pretty dominant this race. We saw the penalties for like Bubba Wallace, Truex for cutting the course. And then it comes down to the before stage break pit stops, right? Mostly everybody pits except for the top 5. I think it was actually 4. It was Reddick, Logano, Chase, and Blaney. And then Kyle Larson was 5th. I don't get this strategy as far as I am a Reddick fan because granted, I know you want points. You're going to get 10 points for winning the stage, but you're going to go back to like 30th. Whereas you pit, you come out 6th. It leads to Tyler Reddick basically being involved in an accident, getting damaged, almost screwing his chance to make the playoffs. I know, Zach, you've had some issues with your crew chief, Christopher Bell, doing the same thing, playing this pit stop game. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't get it.
To be honest with you, I mean, if Reddick doesn't get those 10 points for the stage, he doesn't make the playoffs, right? Because he had to chase Joey.
He would have.
If he would have
been up
finished
front,
higher, though, if he would have
Yeah.
raced for the end and not just stage points.
But then he wouldn't have had those 10 points. So minus 10
So-
points, he now has to finish 10
He
spots
mostly-
further up than he what place did he finish in?
11th or 12th.
I mean, I guess it's all irrelevant now because
But
Bowman got DQ'd.
stage-
But in the
yeah.
moment,
But in stage 2, he would have probably ended up with getting points too, though.
no, because if you skip on one, you skip on the other. Like
No,
if
he
you're
was
going to go for
involved in an
point,
accident at the start of turn at 1 because he pit
right?
during the caution.
He's
So
saying
goes
he
back to
would've-
30th. He would have been 6th place if he would have pit before the stage. So he still would have got whatever points, and
Ah, I
then
see
he
what
would
you're
have
saying.
stayed
He
up
would have
front.
cycled out.
Mm.
He wouldn't have been involved in an accident. Would have still
I
been.
mean,
third
maybe
In
at
a
the
perfect
start.
world, but who knows what else happens there, you know?
Yeah.
You can do that. You can hope everything goes right. You can hope you don't make a mistake on pit road and cost yourself 6 points, or you can just get the 10 points now and hope things work out for you on the restart. Like, I don't know. It's tough. That's the whole dynamic of the playoffs is you have to make those tough decisions. And it's so funny. People talk about how, winning's all that matters now, stuff like that. Like we points race now more than we ever have. It's so funny.
Yeah.
People that like hate points racing is like, I got bad news for you. We points race more now than they ever did.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is the dynamic, right? And especially with a road course where that stage flipping does go on. You have everybody who's not in the playoffs, and you have, I don't know, probably the top 4 or 5 guys that are in the playoffs that have enough points that are just saying, to hell with points, I'm going for the win. So that leaves a lot of points for you, but then you put yourself in this risky position where you're in the middle of the field and got to deal with the chaos for a little bit and just hope things work out. So I don't know, man. I don't begrudge him for making that choice. It just sucks it went the way it did. I mean, ultimately he made the playoffs, so it's fine, but I understand your end of being frustrated and all that and questioning the strategy, but
I just
I don't
think
know.
we've seen it too often where these guys, go to the back and then instantly involved in an accident trying to work their way up. And I don't know. I would be a different crew chief. I would have pit because you're going to most likely come out 6th or 7th place. And continue to fight for the win. Whereas,
and I
Reddick
mean,
did not.
the other thing is now he's got a playoff point that adds to his next round. So, that one
That
point
is true.
could make all the difference.
Yep. Which, barely making the playoffs, and now he's back into third. He's doing the Martin Truex impression of last year. He's had an awful, awful playoffs. This was his first top 20, I think, in the playoffs. So
Yeah, he hasn't been doing great.
no.
He got
But-
20. Wait, you talking about Reddick?
Yeah. Did he
He
get?
got 20th at Dega.
So that's his top 20.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ah,
but that's what these first two rounds are all about, right? Dega, you got 2 super speedways and 2 road courses. They're meant to breed chaos. So I don't know. It's just, fortunately for him, everybody else is in the same boat. And I mean, you had 24 other cars get caught up in that bullshit at Talladega, and
27. Yeah.
whatever it was. So I guess everybody's in the same boat, and nobody really took a huge lead apart from Bell, Byron, and Larson. But everybody else was kind of struggling there too. So I don't know.
Yep. Well, as we said, Tyler Reddick gets involved in an accident. Austin Dillon spun out in the, I don't even know what turn it is. Getting onto the oval, let's just say that. And Reddick kind of comes in hot, hits Denny Hamlin in the driver's door. Suspension damage supposedly to both of them. And it's basically fight back for Reddick all
And
race.
Jim France did a huge fist pump when that
Yeah. Yeah, that guy.
like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. He was pumped.
He celebrated a little too early.
And then they both made it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And ended up making it. God damn.
In the final stage, Austin Dillon loses a wheel, brings out the caution with, I think it was 43 to go. Tyler Reddick pits, gets tires, and goes from 26th to 11th place, earning him a spot in the playoffs. Joey Logano is eliminated.
Or so we thought.
Except after the race, we hear the 48 car of Alex Bowman is disqualified for being underweight. So welcome back, Joey Logano, and bye-bye, Bowman.
Zach's dream of an all Hendrick Final Four is gone with the wind.
Dude,
Oh, God.
it was happening up until that.
I was getting nervous about it happening.
See,
What
this is where I come in and say, I told you they're not biased to Hendrick. They had no problem dinging him for that.
Hitting
Go back.
Bowman does not remove the Hendrick bias allegations. Bowman's always the throw guy.
Yeah.
He's Hendrick-esque. He's not really a Hendrick driver.
Hendrick adjacent. He's like the Wood brothers.
Oh,
Hendrick.
I will not accept the Bowman slander this year.
A
That's not
three-star
fair to
team.
Bowman.
With a
That's how
one car
Hendrick
affiliate.
and everybody else treats him. He just
Yeah.
exists. Bowman's very good. I think Bowman's
is.
very consistent. He can get good points and all that stuff, but the rest of the world forgets he exists.
it's because he doesn't win races. You gotta win races, man.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, he's had an okay run here where he's getting good finishes. He's just not winning, and he's not really competing for wins either. It's like, oh, he got a top 5 somehow at the end of the race. It's just, I don't know. Who was it? Kevin Harvick. They always say that he'd be there at the end. Well, that top 5 for Alex Bowman, same thing. He'll be there at the end.
But it is
I don't get it.
interesting because, like, you would have, where is that weight? Because they didn't appeal, which is interesting. Because obviously you had at the beginning of the race, Bowman, took flight on that last chicane turtle, and
Yep.
I don't know. Do we still know what came out of his car? Because I feel like if it was ballast, we would have known.
I mean, that's a
NASCAR
35-pound piece of lead. If that's out on the track, NASCAR is throwing that.
That's
caution quick.
what I'm saying. It was like everyone's like, oh, maybe it's
I don't
ballast.
think it-
I don't think it was
get it,
ballast either, because NASCAR, they don't F around with the ballast. Like, if you lose ballast, NASCAR is going to get you.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll tell you, NASCAR probably walked that track, looked for anything.
Oh, yeah.
And if they had the ballast, they would have.
They would have.
So,
Oh yeah,
I
they
think
would have
too.
been-
I don't think it was
mean,
ballast.
If you're at Hendrick and you watch that video of Mike McDowell's on board watching him hop that curb and see that piece fall off, and you say that's ballast, you're appealing it. You know what I mean? But I'm sure they saw that video in detail and were like, that's not what that's not 35 pounds worth of anything. Like that's not what we're missing. Like, you know, we missed something else along the way. Because why would you not appeal a playoff deciding move like that unless you're certain you made a mistake somewhere in the line between qualifying and the race, and you just gotta own it. You know what I mean? Unless tinfoil hat, this is a joint move by NASCAR and Hendrick to make sure it's not just the Hendrick Final Four to not give NASCAR a bad look.
You never know.
You know what I mean? Maybe that's why they didn't appeal too. You know, just kind of supports that theory. I don't know. Just saying.
So, just to put the ballast is, from what I understand, a tungsten cube,
right?
And it's very, very small. I'm looking here. I'm looking at something on Amazon. A 4x4x4 tungsten cube is 40 pounds. A 4-inch cube is 41 pounds.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you know, whatever I did see that clip. You know, whatever that spec is, whatever that piece of whatever is coming off of Bowman's car, I mean, it could be ballast.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it couldn't be. I'm just saying that I think the people at Hendrick watching that said that's not ballast. Because
I don't know.
They would just appeal it.
They might. Well, the thing is I think if you appeal it and it is ballast, you still get in trouble. So it's like,
but you don't lose a playoff spot. Maybe you don't get disqualified.
I don't know. I don't know how NASCAR would treat that, because
I don't know. Pretty well in, wasn't he? So even if he would have gotten a 10-point playoff penalty,
I don't know.
Let's just go with the rule book. Oh wait, well,
yeah. I see. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know of a situation of somebody losing a ballast mid race and continuing. You know what I mean? Like, I think the only other time I can think of somebody losing a ballast, like somebody actually hit it and the car was stopped or whatever. Like I don't think they continued the race. So like, I don't know if NASCAR would say, we're going to DQ you, keep you DQ'd, and because you are light, you were light for the majority of the race because you dumped the ballast, and you also had a huge safety issue. So we're also going to give you this huge monetary fine as well. I don't know. I don't know if you necessarily win and get anything back, because technically you're still running around light. Like the ballast should not come out. That's why it's such a heavy penalty. That must stay secure.
Yeah, but like we said too, if that was ballast,
I don't know how NASCAR handles it.
That wouldn't just float off in the wind when a car comes by. You know what I mean? That'd be planted there wherever it fell off. So I really don't think it was ballast. I don't think they're looking at it with that mentality at all. Because
it'd be great if they said how light the car was.
Yeah, they're not going to though.
Without knowing how light the car was, we'll never really know.
Right.
I mean,
I'm guessing it was very light, because
they filled it with
necessarily
fuel, water. They did all the things to get it back to max weight that they possibly could, and still weren't there.
It could be like a speeding penalty. You know, you get a speeding penalty for being 0.03 miles per hour.
Yeah, they're allowed 17 pounds. So,
well, I mean, you're allowed 5 miles an hour on the speed limit. So when you're speeding for 0.03, you're actually speeding 5.03. So, you know, they give you a 17-pound tolerance. Well, if you're 17.3 pounds under, you fail. So I don't know. They could have been just ounces, or it could have been, I don't know, about 41.62 pounds. So who knows?
Yeah. True.
I guess that would give us the context we need to actually be able to say, oh, maybe it was this or that. But like, I mean, if it's them building the car, like I was trying to think, I don't know. I obviously don't know much about the cars, but I don't know where are you taking weight from? I find that very interesting. Like, if it's not the ballast and they are just actually making the car light, how do you even do that? Because like everything's bought, right?
Yeah.
So now,
I mean, they put weights in. No, they're putting. Not everything's bought.
Or is the car empty? Like, no, like, do you have to add weight to the car to get it to spec? Like specific weights apart from the ballast. Like you have to add such and such weights.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a certain weight. Like the car's only so heavy, you have to add extra weight. Because you got to think, like, if Norm Benning's driving and he's 300 and something pounds versus, you know, Kyle Larson at 100 pounds or Justin Allgaier, you know?
I think car weight's empty. I don't think driver's in the car for car weight.
No, driver, it's like up to 240 is what they're calculated as. So,
but I still think the car's weighed without the driver, and then they just add whatever.
They could.
I don't know if driver being there for inspection.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's true. I don't think drivers walk with the car.
So there might
Yeah.
be a number they throw in, like, oh, okay, 240 pounds for the driver. Like there might be a number. So even then, there's still a weight for the car minus the driver.
Yeah. Don't know.
I would think it would have to be like, because I mean, with Kyle Larson or Tyler Reddick doesn't weigh the same as, I don't know. I know he's not in Cup, but he does run Cup. Austin Dillon, or not Austin Hill.
Yeah.
It's like Austin Dillon does run Cup.
He does run Cup.
Does he though? Does
Yeah, that's a good point. Does he really? Hmm.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works. Maybe
Who knows?
maybe that's what it is. They just add 240 to it.
Quit cheating, Hendrick.
Yeah. As Joe would say, it was just because of the damage, and as Zach would say, it's just cheating. So
If you don't appeal
Alex
it, you knew you
Blumenauer-
fucked up. That's what that tells me.
yeah, that's why I think it's more than 40 pounds. I'm guessing they were well underweight. They probably hid something, like they made the driver's air system like 50 pounds light or something like that, and it's gonna pop up at Phoenix because they're not going to disqualify that winning car. But
Yeah. All I gotta say is, as much as I hate to see Joey Logano in the playoffs, I'd rather see that than a Hendrick Final Four.
yeah,
No, absolutely not. Joey Logano, lucky ass season continues.
You're
Shut
not
up, Joe.
wrong.
I think I remember Chase Elliott getting into the playoffs at Charlotte because
At the
NASCAR didn't
Roval.
black flag him. So
yeah.
What you're
Shut up,
talking
Joe.
about?
I'll just pull up the clip. Chase Elliott's rear bumper flapping in the wind. They
That
never
made
give
me
him a
so mad.
black flag.
We were there. I was pissed.
Hey,
No,
it's a
that's
good
why he
thing.
doesn't. That's why he doesn't remember because he was already on his way home.
Yeah, he's already
Yeah,
out. He's
he
already halfway to the car at that
He
point,
didn't see
probably.
it.
So.
All right. So Roval or the Oval?
Oval.
Oval with next gen, easy.
I'm
We
Oval.
obviously
Actually,
we have
my
one more.
answer's
I didn't-
complicated, but
I didn't
I'll let
hate
Trey
the
go.
race. I didn't hate the race, but Oval.
Yeah, it was better than expected, but when the Xfinity is consistently the better race, I mean, we know we have problems with this car, but Xfinity
That's
is
kind of-
always the better.
That's
I
kind
don't
of
know.
irrelevant. You could say that pretty much every week.
Right.
I mean, I go back and forth. I like the Roval. I like that we mix it up. I like that Charlotte gets 2 dates without it being the same race twice, just a shorter version. I think the Roval was created as a Band-Aid over how bad the Gen 6 did on mile and a halves. And so I think we've matured past the need for it. But I don't know, just like I feel like we jumped quick to get rid of 1.5s with Gen 6 to want to jump back to getting rid of all these road courses while we're trying to fix the Gen 7. Because say next year, what if they say, all right, fine, you get what you want. We're going back to Oval, 2 Oval dates for Charlotte. And then suddenly in the offseason, they're like, all right, we're making this change and this change and this change to the Gen 7. And then we come back next season and suddenly it's insanely good on road courses, best races of the season. We're all looking forward to road courses. But we've already lost a road course date at the Roval. Now, after 1 year of having 2 Charlotte Ovals, now we're back to, well, bring back the Roval, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, well, it's going to take a few years. We've already made this decision to stick with the Oval. Could take us a while to make it switch back for sponsorship reasons, whatever reasons, like all of, red tape, logistics, everything. So now we're switching back and then, something by the time we switch back. So I don't know. I don't like a lot of flip-flopping. I know we talked about before how, the schedule's not as set in stone as I guess we grew up thinking it was. So it leaves some room for flipping like that. But I don't know, man. Like, again, would love to see more ovals. Would love to see Charlotte run an oval, two dates. But I'm just, I don't know. I guess I have a soft spot for the Roval for 1, but 2, I don't want to do the same thing with the Gen 6 and get rid of a track because one car's not performing well on it and then regret that once changes are made or something,
Yeah.
I think if the Roval was still the only third road course, you would have a strong argument.
Fair.
But since we've added more, I'm fine with losing it. When it was the third one, then yeah, that's fine having it at that be the Roval. But
Right.
Now that we have Coda and we're going to Mexico,
Chicago,
we're adding all these road courses. I'm totally fine with losing the Roval.
Yeah,
but what I do
that's
think is if we are going to keep the Roval, I thought about this. I was seeing pictures on Twitter where they're like kind of walking around the track at night. If you're going to keep the Roval, do a Saturday night road course race.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be cool as shit because we don't have any night races. Well, we don't have any night road races because of obvious reasons. We don't have headlights, but I'm pretty sure the track, from what I saw, the track looked like it can get pretty well illuminated even on the infield. Even if you have to bring in some extra lighting, like I'm sure that wouldn't be a huge deal. Like, it doesn't have to be perfectly bright.
I think there is lighting for the road course.
There's at least got to be some, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pictures I saw, it looked pretty decent. So I don't know. I think that'd be cool. I think doing a Saturday night road course race would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'd be into that just to see how it plays out. I don't know. I feel like the night
just
race
be a whole different vibe.
better atmosphere, right? Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you really want to have like a unique event, like that would be pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of controversy with the 48, I think the biggest one of the weekend was Xfinity race. Parker Kligerman is robbed of a win. So basically, Parker raced the hell out of that car, was dead last in Xfinity points, needed a win to make it, and he was going to do it. But 2 to go. I can't remember who it was. Loses a brake, stuffs it into the tire wall. Was it Honeyman? Okay.
42.
Honeyman loses brake, stuffs it in the wall, is actually kind of under the tire barrier. You know he's not moving. And NASCAR proceeds to wait 16 seconds and basically waits for Parker to get 3 feet in front of the start and finish line, which I still don't think they did. But they throw the yellow. Everybody thinks that Parker won because even the flagman waved the white flag. The team thought he won because there was no yellow out until afterwards. But NASCAR's like, nope, we threw it. Zach, I know you were watching. How do you feel about it?
I don't know. I keep going back and forth because it was a caution-worthy event. Why it took 30 seconds for them to throw the caution flag is beyond me. Like, it just seemed like it was a situation where they're just going to let Parker get to the line and then call it, which I kind of wish they would have done at that point. Like, if you're going to call that caution, you need to call that right away when Parker's like still in the backstretch. But then you just wait and wait and wait, and then ruin. Everybody was so excited, and you ruin this by just throwing the caution at the very last second. It's just, I don't know. It's so annoying. And it just like another situation where NASCAR officiating is the main story, and you ruined what was a really good race because him and Sam were just battling like crazy. And props to Sam Mayer for racing respectfully and clean. You know, we see a lot of times guys just clean each other out. It was an awesome race. Like, they were both just driving the hell out of those cars, and they were just getting after it. It would have been,
came in at the end, and
like it would have been such a great story. Parker Kligerman gets his first Xfinity win, and he locks himself in. Like, this is the moment that your playoffs are built for. Your playoffs are built for those Game 7 moments, and here it was. Parker Kligerman getting ready to take this win, his first win, lock in as the bottom seed, and lock into the next round. And then you just ruin it with this controversial caution call and blah, 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 blah. And now Junior Motorsports locks in again, and nobody really cares. Like, I don't know. It was a caution-worthy thing, but it's like, I just wish they would have called it right away instead of waiting until either call it right away or let him cross the line instead of like, oh,
it makes
shit,
it
just let him get across
less painful, right? If they call it right away, you know. I mean, he would have been in turn 3 and 4 of the oval.
Right. Then it's like, oh, shit, that sucks. Like, yeah. Okay,
and you know it. Like, that was an accident. That car was not moving.
Right.
But yeah, they waited so long. It's like, oh my God, they're going to let this go, which would have been cool. But then they throw, and it's like, okay, now are you just playing God at this point? Like,
it's just like the optics of it, right? Like, even if like their chain of operations really did take them that long, like, we all give NASCAR shit for like leaning into the entertainment thing. So it's like that just felt like, and I'm not saying it was, but it just felt like something to, oh, this is exciting. Like, it was just, I don't know. It sucked. It just sucked all the way around.
Yeah. Yep. That would have been his first win a couple weeks after he announced that he will not run full time. And I mean, it would have got him into the round of 8, all that stuff. Like it was huge for Parker to win that race.
Yeah.
And he did everything he needed to do. So did Sam Mayer. Sam Mayer needed to win also. And look what happened. They were both battling. It was great racing at the end. It's just, NASCAR playing God a little bit. Like I said, I think if they throw the caution right away, which they should have, it's not a controversy at all. But then them come saying, "Oh, we didn't see him." So you didn't see a car stuffed in the wall for 15 seconds, 16 seconds? That's ridiculous. But
They always got to make it about themselves.
Yep.
Freaking NASCAR.
Yep. Jeff Curry says the last few laps of a Busch race on a road course are always fun. They are. It's always entertaining. I don't know. I thought it was great racing before the caution. I mean, the Green White Checkered really wasn't that entertaining to me. It was just Sam Mayer ended up taking the lead, and that was it. That's all she wrote.
Well, yeah, you knew once Sam got to Parker, like it just that was it.
Parker's tires were older, and
I mean, the part that was helping Parker
Sam
run
raced a
away
great
with
race.
it. The part that was helping Parker run away with it was that Sam kept having some sort of transmission issue. Like, cause Sam,
was hopping out of third or something.
Yeah, like Sam got real close to him twice, but then coming onto the oval, he lost it. Well, he didn't.
Yep.
He lost momentum because he had that transmission issue, whatever that was. So, whenever Sam actually did get within, a side by side restart situation, then it's just like, oh well, this is over.
It would have been really entertaining if Allmendinger wasn't already, pretty well into the playoffs where he actually had to battle for the win. He kind of just sat there, I think, letting those two battle, and my guess is hoping that Mayer took out Parker Clearman. But
again, showing that the drivers do take care of themselves. And try to not put it all on the line.
But he was already pretty much locked in. I mean, if he did get wrecked, he's not. So I don't know. A 3-car battle would have been a lot cooler than just the 2, but in the end, it was just Sam Mayer taking the win on the restart. All right. Well, let's get into the playoffs. Playoffs.
Obligatory.
Yep.
So it was an elimination race, and we lost a couple of drivers, and I just lost that page. We lost. I mean, honestly, I think we all kind of got this right. Where we're losing, the holy crap, I just went brain dead.
Cindric.
Yeah.
Doing great.
Well, Bowman, Cindric, Suarez, and Briscoe. Briscoe. So, Briscoe had an awful day, losing an engine pretty early. I think it was stage 2. He was having a bad race to begin with. He was just awful. So was Preece. SHR showing they're on their way out. But how are we feeling about the guys that got eliminated? Any big surprise?
Not really. I mean, obviously, Bowman, Logano, whatever.
It was supposed to be you, Joey.
Yeah.
Dude, if he wins the championship this year,
I'm going to be irate if that happens. And you know what's going to happen. You know that's going to happen too.
No, it's going to be a Hendrick driver. We all know it.
Yeah, it's going to be Kyle Larson. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's Kyle Larson to win the championship. But in the off chance somebody else wins it, I keep going back and forth between Denny or Joey. I don't know which one would be more fun to watch.
I'd love to see a Denny win again, just so he's not.
I really wanted Denny win, especially this year.
Yeah, honestly, this year would be the year I'd love to see him get a win. Suing NASCAR, not a Hendrick driver, be beautiful as a somewhat Hendrick fan.
He's gonna get the most just bullshit black flag in the Final Four race.
Oh yeah. No, he's gonna win. They're gonna DQ him.
It'll be too many men over the wall, and it's just the crew chief hopping over at the beginning of the race or something like that.
They're gonna be celebrating, and they jumped over the wall before it crossed the finish line, so that's disqualification.
Yeah.
This rule book that none of us can read.
Okay, how about our final 8? We're pretty much all dead on. I had Elliott out. Austin had Blaney out. Joe is now perfect only because of the Bowman disqualification, and Zach had Bowman in. Is now missing Logano. So we still thinking our final 4. pretty spot on, or are you changing your mind on this?
My final four is Larson, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin.
Mine
I
as well.
think I might throw Elliott instead of Reddick there, just because of the Hendrick idea, and plus, I don't know, Reddick scraping his way in this time. I don't know. I mean, what's the next three races here?
Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville.
I mean, I feel like Euron's good at Homestead. He's good at ripping the wall. So I don't know. Maybe I don't change it then. You know what? No, I'm keeping it. I'm not super confident about Reddick, but I'm still going to keep it. I think he's going to run well at Homestead, run well at Vegas. I think he'll make it through.
I got Larson, Bell, Reddick, Blaney. I'm leaving it. I think Hamlin's getting eliminated. So I think Byron's getting eliminated. I think Chase Elliott's getting eliminated. And I don't know who my other driver is. But
you know whose 40th anniversary it is this year, right?
Yeah, I do.
You got to have at least 200 cars going in. You can't.
At least.
There's at least 200 cars going in. I promise you.
Oh, you know what it's going to be? It's going to be Kyle Larson, Byron, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin.
And then the Tuscan Raiders are going to snipe Denny's tires every lap.
NASCAR is going to disqualify him because his numbers aren't the right size.
NASCAR's going to let the 3 Hendrick guys cheat. They let the final 4 cheat up their cars in the last race. Yeah. They're going to let Hendrick do it. They're going to tell Denny they're going to let him do it. They're going to penalize him for everything.
If your car is not a prime number, you get to run an extra 1,000 horsepower. Or it's 5. Fuck, if I realized it was 5. Yeah, I don't know. I have Larson, Elliott, Reddick, and Hamlin. I'm gonna keep it. The only one I'm kind of iffy about is Elliott. I think I should have probably put Byron in. I feel better about him, but whatever. But we're locked in. You can't change it now.
Yeah, very true.
But Elliott's probably the one I feel the worst about.
Really? Yeah. He's
just sort of there.
But he's the Bowman this year, right? He's there. He's not competing for the win. He's got a good average finish, which I don't think in this final 3 races here that it's going to help you make that final 4 race.
Yeah, I think Byron just has more momentum right now. Like, I mean, it's kind of weird because nobody's really talking about him, but I mean, hell, he locked in before this race. Like, that's pretty good. The only other time I remember somebody locking in was, I think, 2022. Bell locked in to the round of 12 before the 3rd race in the round of 16. But for Byron to do that, I think in the round of 12 to lock into the round of 8, like that's a whole race early. That's pretty impressive. So I think he's got momentum. I don't know. I might put Bell in instead of Reddick too now, just because Reddick doesn't have any momentum, sort of, in that same sort of discussion. Like I don't see him. He's just been struggling. So, and Bell's been running pretty good, especially, I mean, this race he's top 5 all day. So that was pretty solid.
Yeah. I think it's 3 good tracks for Reddick. I think he's going to have a bit of a rebound, hopefully. And I just, Bell's running well. Kyle Larson's Kyle Larson. And then, I don't know. I think Blaney will sneak it out, but there's a good chance that Denny Hamlin sneaks it in.
I'll tell you what, if Bell or Blaney make it in, Field's got to be worried. Whoever's running against him in Vegas or Phoenix would have to be worried, because them guys are very good at the flat tracks and at Phoenix. So
I got Bell winning it all. So
I think if Bell and Blaney go into the round of 4, one of them two probably got to be your favorite. But it's really hard. You can make a case for anybody going to the round of 4, because I mean, I think I saw somewhere when Bowman was in, the top 8 were the top 8 in points. So these are like, as chaotic as the playoffs might seem to be, especially with all the crazy first couple rounds, like it sort of played out how it should have. So, you got your top 8 guys minus Joey. I don't know where he was at in points. He wasn't very great, but top 7 guys in a round of 8. So it's really hard to separate them, honestly.
Yeah. I think it's going to be exciting. I mean, these are really good teams going at it here to make the Final Four. Should be exciting. All right, anything else to talk about? Points, Xfinity, no truck race, obviously.
I don't think trucks
Roval.
race until Homestead.
Homestead, I think.
Yeah, and then it's all three the rest of the year, right?
Yeah. Because they're hold on, I gotta look that up. Yeah, Homestead, Martinsville.
This is
And
the last weekend without trucks as well as the Xfinity Cup.
Yep.
A triple header weekend.
Yeah.
4 weeks
Truck to
left, boys.
Homestead's always fun. I mean, anything at Homestead's always fun. Make it the championship race. Come on, NASCAR, do it, pussies. But I still hate the Phoenix. I hate that we're going back to Phoenix next year for it, but it is what it is. Let's hop. Well, before we hop into news, be sure to like, follow, subscribe. Got some people commenting. Thank you very much. Thumbs up. We're on every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern, 9:30-ish. And we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those fun things. So, yeah. Oh, we lost Joe.
All
right.
Forget to, we do these live, So, speaking of live counters, do them live. Yeah. Tuesdays, 9:30.
Do it live.
Do it
All right. All right, let's hop in the news. Let's start off with, I guess, the latest allegations that a JGR employee sold setup info to another team. Not really come out who the other team is, but we've heard Ty Gibbs after Richmond say, how did the RCR guys get so fast? There's rumors that it was Legacy, who they just suck, so I don't think that's it. And then, oh man, I forgot the guy's name. Something porno on Twitter that's always leaking information.
The porno
Posted,
guy.
yeah. What's his name? Do you know what it is? Something
I can't
porno.
remember.
It's a weird name, but he just leaks NASCAR news like every 2 months.
It's definitely a NASCAR insider of some kind. Just like,
oh yeah,
because I mean he's been right a lot.
Yeah,
he has. I mean, usually what he says happens within the next couple of weeks, but he retweeted the NASCAR story that a team basically bought this info, and it was a picture of Kyle Busch. So I don't know.
Sounds
This
like
could get interesting.
Free market capitalism, taking advantage, exchanging money for goods and services. That's what America was built on. So,
amen.
This seems like a Joe with Hendrick Motorsports making excuses.
I don't know. Is this
I'm
like,
here to defend himself, man? He just got kicked. Golly.
Is this like against the NASCAR rule of some kind? Like, I don't, or is this just like
private porno? Private porno.
There you go. Or is this just like a legality issue? Like, I don't understand where this is going, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like stealing play calls in football, or that's supposedly illegal, or is it just the teams it's frowned upon type deal?
I feel like it's got to be just like a team deal, because like I was reading something somewhere. I think it was like a Jenna Fryer thing or something, but it's like they use the word intellectual property. I was like, okay, well now you're starting to talk about like, what is the teams or the OEM's property, and what you're doing is selling that to a competitor. So I could see it being an issue on that level. Like if you go to work and steal work stuff and sell it, you get fired or, face legal action, stuff like that. But I don't think NASCAR itself really has any involvement in this. Like, I don't think there's like a penalty or anything like that. Because I mean, how could you, right? Because I mean, teams share information all the time freely. Now, I guess you could say that's like agreed upon by both parties, but I don't know.
I'm sure there's contracts that all these people sign, stuff like that. There could be a legal issue for whoever sold it, but I don't know. Beyond that,
I think whoever did it is in trouble. Like the engineer that got this information and sold it off to whoever, that guy is in a shitload of trouble.
Yeah, my job, if I go around taking pictures of stuff, I could, be in major trouble.
Right.
I don't know. It's the same situation.
I don't know if anybody else is going to get hit that hard with stuff. I think it's just mainly the guy that did it.
Sorry, I'm coming in on the back end here, but like, maybe NASCAR can't punish him, but like teams maybe won't hire him because like, ooh, he's gonna he might burn me. So
Oh, that guy's done in NASCAR.
yeah, that's yeah.
No,
so
for sure.
Straightforward on that.
maybe motorsports in general, right? Because that stuff gets around.
Maybe this is just Kyle Busch's way of getting off RCR.
It would be kind of funny though. Kyle Busch stealing Joe Gibbs setups.
It's the
Not stealing, purchasing legally.
yeah, kind of like the
Yeah.
Kyle Larson thing. Get off a bad team, go to a good team, right? Just he won't take a 1-year suspension. Yeah. So there's that. That's a news story that kind of broke today. We might have some more information on it next week. I don't think we'll hear much about it, honestly. Maybe just like, oh, this guy's fired. But NASCAR has filed an injunction against 2311, basically trying to block them from being able to race next year in the current contract. And then they also had it pushed back because of hurricanes. I think it's November 4th or something like that. Beginning of November.
It is the week before the championship race, which I just find so funny because one of the reasons NASCAR pressured the team so badly to get this deal signed in Atlanta is because they did not want charter negotiation talks clouding the playoffs or overshadowing the playoffs. So now you have your lawsuit, whatever this is, the injunction hearing, whatever, for this lawsuit where Michael Jordan is suing you right before your championship race. So I just find that funny. Bit of irony.
How are the turntables?
Xfinity ready driver Haley Deegan is going to be racing in Indy NXT in 2025.
Woo.
I
don't care.
High downforce might help her. She might be able to drive a car.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't see it going any better than it did in Xfinity and Truck, because Truck Series, all she did was run 20th and try to wreck Lawless Allen every week. So I think it's just going to be bad overall. She can't intentionally wreck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indy next. Good luck. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Oh God, Haley Deegan in the Indy 500 next year.
Don't speak that evil on
You know
her.
it's gonna happen. You know it's gonna happen. Oh, it'll happen. She'll get a ride.
Nah, not next year.
Oh, the exposure on it. Yeah.
Nah, now she's in Indy next. She's not even ready.
Well, hold on. She gotta be fast.
I'm not saying
it
first. I'm not saying it won't happen at some point.
She'll be in qualifying. Watch.
Next year's too soon.
Okay, she'll be in qualifying, but she ain't making the race.
Somebody will throw a stupid amount of money at it because it's publicity and a big story. Like, oh, Kyle Larson's racing again, but Haley Deegan,
Whatever.
Nah, I think Indy next is like 2 tiers down from IndyCar. Like nobody's giving her a ride. That'd be like giving an ARCA guy a ride in Cup because, like, now I guess that would be my counter argument. If nobody gave her a Cup ride in Daytona 500 yet, she's not getting a Indy 500 ride.
A good one.
She wouldn't get. Those things are way more expensive. It's much harder to get in. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I bet it happens. 2026 at the latest. Ooh, speaking of Indy, I officially got my seats for the Indy 500 this year. So
heck yeah,
be in turn 1. Kind of excited because turn 1's a shaded area where you're not staring in the sun, getting baked all day.
Nice.
I've been in turn 3 and 4, I think. I don't even remember. I know turn 4. And it's just you're in the sun the whole time. It's awful. But
it's on the bucket list, but it's hard when we have the Coke 600 literally 20 minutes from us. So one of these years we'll have to sacrifice, but
yeah. No, it's a great time. There's nothing like it. I'll say that. But yeah, I'm excited. Next year I'll be there.
Nice.
All right. New road course behind Charlotte. We've mentioned this a year ago.
Well, it officially got announced. It's called the 10/10 Motor Club. So that's interesting. 3 layouts.
I heard about it. Yeah.
That seems cool. It's a Hendrick and Speedway Motorsports thing. It's like so their Twitter says a world-class experiential destination for automotive enthusiasts, collectors, and manufacturers. So when we get that Green White Checkered GT3, we'll go run some laps.
Maybe it's a club circuit. You can go. Then you're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff. You can go rip around, whatever.
gonna
Yeah.
say,
Probably
yeah.
have- they'll have track days. They'll have
Mhm.
like car club events. They'll do all different like it's not a proper like racing circuit.
Right. It's like
Right.
a VIR. VIR will do that, or VIR is
Yeah.
proper racing circuit, I guess, but they do track days all the time. That's like what
Yeah.
they're
Yep.
like known for.
We'll have
or
to-
not really known for, but that's how I knew of them.
We'll have to go
I
to.
guess they could do like an IMSA race because I mean IMSA does go to like Lime Rock and VIR, which aren't like big giant facilities for like spectator
Right.
seating. Or
We'll
something
have
like that. I
to-
don't know, maybe they could, but
We'll have to venture up there.
Yeah, that could be fun.
go rip
Yeah.
around wherever you want.
I mean,
run a Prius and beat the shit out of it.
dude, track days are a blast. I don't care what you're in. Like, I've done so many motorcycle track days, and it's a good old time. You're around people that are into the same hobby as you, obviously.
Right.
And, everybody's cool. It's a great time. You get to push your car, just have a blast. Highly recommend it if you ride a motorcycle.
Don't
or
tell your insurance
have a
company
nice
what
car.
you're out doing.
Yeah.
Definitely do not do that.
Yikes. How'd you wreck your car?
This is the weirdest thing.
I took a wrong turn and accidentally swiped my credit card on the wrong turn and just ended up in a wall. I don't know.
How's
when
that work
take
if you
out the
track
back
day
of
your
the-
daily?
Most insurances do not cover it.
Yeah, they'll
They're
deny
not,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
don't
that's why you drive it across the street and
then
into a
say,
ditch.
"Oh, look what happened."
Yeah. Oh man, crazy.
Yep. Yeah, racing. We'd hear stories about people who have bought their bike on credit and wrecked it, and still owe a lot of money and some insurance stuff. Yeah, good times.
Any names in particular? Like
Insurance
anything
fraud.
like
Green
that?
White
Yeah.
Checkered podcast.
Hey, I didn't do it. I wrecked myself. I fixed it myself. Yeah, it was expensive, but I had the money back then.
Next week we'll talk about smuggling drugs.
Your butthole.
Tax evasion. Up next.
Not insurance fraud. As the insurance professional here, don't do insurance fraud. I am
Well, I mean,
legally
just-
obligated to say that.
Pay your taxes on the drugs that you sell, and you're good.
There you go.
There you
And then
go.
You can cover your insurance money with it too. Perfect.
Yep. Okay. I got nothing else for news. Anybody else got anything?
No.
So,
Jeff in chat did say that SVG had no Ride in America series, and he won his first race. Haley Ding, I mean, she could go out and do really well. Like I said, high downforce, it could work out for her, but you got to remember the other people in this series have kind of
SVG and Haley Deegan are not even from the same planet. Let's be honest. SVG went to, I still maintain I think SVG was at more of an advantage than people give him credit for winning that race. Amazing talent, don't get me wrong, but he was familiar with road courses. He's more familiar with running in the rain. These cars are very similar to his supercars that he runs all the time, and he's also a really fucking good road course racer. So I don't know that Haley Deegan necessarily has those accolades. I'm sure she knows her way to the infield care center better than anyone, and probably more tracks than anyone does. But I don't know if that'll help her in the next series because I don't think they share many tracks. So we'll see.
she will race at Indy. They do race a couple of races at Indy.
She'll race the road course. I was just looking at their schedule. They race a couple races at the
Yeah.
road course.
Yeah.
But Indy 500 ride, I don't think so. Maybe in a couple years, not their first year.
Yeah. All right. I got nothing else for the news, so let's move on to kill count. We'll just hit this quick. Bowman is, I didn't actually add the numbers. Bowman gets 1. Hosvar gets 2. And somebody put a 1 next to, I thought it said Ricky. Austin Dillon gets 1. Anybody else got anything? Those are just the ones I can remember.
No, the
those-
only other one that jumps out was Bubba and Suarez, but they didn't wreck. They just kind of got together.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That, how do you feel
what'd
about that
think
incident?
of?
Nope.
I don't know,
Reddick
I
and
thought they
Denny?
were- Which one?
I'm talking this Suarez Bubba.
I mean, they were just racing this, whatever. The one I thought was funny was Austin Dillon and Alfredo. Did you see that one?
No.
Like, I'm pretty sure it was Dillon and Alfredo, but they were like getting into it, and they go to the last chicane, and Alfredo just pushes Dillon purposely to the chicane, so he blows it and has to,
Yeah, has to
do
serve the
stop
penalty.
Yeah.
I mean,
thought
Austin
that was
Dillon
so
used
funny.
him up, and then he just is like, you know what? Fine, okay,
I
bye.
was like, I don't remember seeing that tip on Anthony Alfredo's weekly iRacing. Here's how you run this track lap thing.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was Alfredo driving?
I think he was. I'm pretty sure it was Alfredo. Now
I don't think it was Alfredo.
I don't
It
think- I was
the,
like-
was it? I thought he
wait a minute.
drives. I thought he drives part time sometimes.
Maybe sometimes, but I don't see him anywhere on this results list.
Well, then I don't know. I'm just making shit up. It was somebody though.
idiot.
Somebody got Austin Dillon.
Kaz Grala, is that who you're thinking of?
I think it was Kaz.
Maybe it might have been
I think it
Kaz.
was Kaz.
I do think of them as the
Because
same.
they're in the same vein of like popularity, I guess. Like they're like B+ list. You know what I mean?
It could have been Kaz.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I guess let's
Survivor?
move on to Survivor.
we
We can skip this one actually.
can skip
Oh.
this one.
Let's just go on to Vegas. What do we think, guys?
I mean, three of us did really well.
Three of us did do really well.
I was doing okay.
Where
Dude,
was Suarez? Like, my
We need to
goodness.
stop Joe from changing
31st,
his picks
actually.
every week.
Apparently, like,
31st.
jeez, he's already on his way to Vegas when we started the last stage, I guess.
Come on.
So who won? Fucking
Joe.
Joe won.
Again.
Christopher Bell. Joe won with Christopher Bell, finished second. Only car that seemed to be somewhat on pace with Larson, but even still, he couldn't quite keep up with him. But I think at the end, them two guys were. Bell was like 2 seconds back, and then they had like 10 seconds on the field. But yeah, Larson was still just lights out. So Bell finished second. I had AJ who finished sixth, and then Andrew had SVG who was seventh.
Thanks, Carson.
And then Drake had Suarez, who finished 31st. Not that great. So I see Drake editing the sheet as we speak. Drake,
No.
who you picking?
Well, see, this was actually a 200 IQ strategy call here, folks. I was tanked last week, so I could get access to Kyle Larson for my pick this week. So
There you go.
step aside, boys. Put it all on Larson.
There you go.
I am going to go with Christopher Bell.
All right.
That's who I was going to pick. And since you did, I will. All right, I was going to Byron.
And then I will go with Chas Elliott.
Okay. Man, I think we have to have a reset after Martinsville or something.
I think so too. I agree.
Yeah.
I think we just need to all go to 0 after.
I never reset after the playoffs. I don't know what the score really
Yeah,
is.
we're kind of all over the place.
It's still, this is still
It's
like
the
full
points.
season.
That's still the full season points.
Yeah, I don't think this is added with the bonus points added.
Joe's in the lead with 86, Zach at 85. I have 80, and Austin 69.
Nice.
That was also the strategy call right there.
Yeah. Just no more points for Austin this year.
Yep.
Just
I'm
stop
actually
there.
bowing out. How do I get 0?
All right, we got an OnlyFans this week.
Oh,
Come on.
Got one from Mark. Says, "What is your go-to snack?"
Oh, we've
that
done
you
this one.
always have at home. No, we had
Oh,
what is
at
your-
home.
We have it
at home,
at home during
not
we've had
for
during
not
the
during the
race.
race.
At home.
Ooh,
Yeah.
at home.
I saw this question, so I already thought of mine. Pretzels, right?
What
It
what
was-
kind of pretzels? Like the
So,
stick?
It was Dots pretzels, but in
Okay.
this
Those are so
economy,
good.
it's the rolled gold because I cannot afford Dots. But no, Dots is a go-to.
That's a solid. I like one that came to mind is I love having chips and salsa around. It's just like I know
That's
I work
classic. You can't go wrong with chips and salsa.
I work from home, so it's easy to snack on, and our
Just hit it every
local
time.
our local grocery store has a good like in-house salsa that I like. So
Teat?
it's eater. Yep,
Dude, some TJ salsa. Trader Joe's has some killer sauces. I'll
they
say
do.
that.
They also have good
So, Costco has a Mexican street corn dip.
salsa. Ooh,
Oh,
If no,
Say
now
what?
so now I've always done just the corn tortilla chips, right?
Mhm.
Last weekend was at a coworker's house, had a couple of beers, and he brings out the dip. I'm like, fuck yeah. And then he had the nacho Doritos. I'm like, oh, dude, life-changing
really?
experience.
So nacho Doritos with Trader Joe's Mexican sweet corn.
Well, this is
Costco.
just a Costco one.
Costco,
Mexican
sorry,
street
yeah,
corn, but
Costco
It might
Mexican
be the
street
same, I don't know. But oh my god, life-changing.
Interesting.
It's amazing.
Huh.
Add it to the list.
Yeah. Zach, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, Isaac.
Or Austin?
No.
Um, Well, I don't really have a lot of snacks around the house now. I've been trying to eat more vegetables and stuff, so I haven't been eating
You poor bastard.
I've been eating celery and red peppers. That's sort of what I've been snacking on lately, which are good. But if we're talking snacks, what are my favorite snack type foods? Definitely love some kettle cooked salt and vinegar chips.
Those are
I
good.
will, I will house a bag of those. We have this.
Yep.
We have this one. I don't know if it's local or not. I think it's local. It might not be, but it's called Diffin' Box, and I will just tear that up if left unsupervised. I also like. I don't know if you guys have Snyder's pretzels.
We do, yeah.
Yep.
I think they're based in PA. At least the one I'm talking about, and they have like these pretzel pieces that are honey mustard and onion that are like coated in this honey mustard and onion flavor. They're really good. So those are probably my two favorites to snack on when I do.
Nice.
I think
Man.
I don't know if this constitutes, but cereal is always my go-to snack.
Yeah.
Like,
What
Yeah,
kind?
that's tough.
depends, man. My
Cinnamon
favorite.
Toast
Or yeah,
What?
that's fine. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, not
No?
for me. I mean, I don't dislike Cinnamon Toast Crunch. My longest standing go-to is actually Frosted Mini Wheats, but the Trader Joe's brand. In my opinion, significantly better than the brand name Frosted Mini Wheats.
Really?
Yeah, they're more compact. Like they're like almost like if you took those and just like didn't make them as like frilly and big, they just like compact them. So they stick together better, they soak better like a Mormon. You know, it's a great time. But those are really good. Yeah, you know, I love those. Or like I think we're out of those. So we have the Trader Joe's brand Frosted Flakes, which is just as good. Kind of hard to go wrong with Frosted Flakes. I also love the Nature Valley, like sweet and salty granola bars.
Okay. Yeah,
They're like not the Nature Valley like crumbly ones that like
Yeah.
crumbs.
I know what you're talking about.
They're like almost like a protein, kind of like a protein bar. It's got like the nuts on top, like the frosting or
Chocolate
whatever.
layer.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
a nut. Anyway,
Are you
really
talking about like the
good.
peanut butter, the like peanut ones?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're good. Are
super
they
good.
orange?
I used to have
Come in
those all
orange
the time.
wrapper?
Yeah, orange
Yep.
wrapper. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. Those are
Oh, yeah.
like just
Like
if
a
I'm
yellow
ever like
box. Yeah. I
yeah,
know
if
exactly
I've like
what you're talking about.
a couple hours after dinner or something and I'm sitting on the couch, I'm like hungry, but not enough to like make something. It'll either be cereal or one of those granola bars.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
I love
like
Chex for cereal.
Yeah.
Not
Chex are
a
good.
flavor thing. I like the crunch of it.
They do have a really
texture.
good crunch.
It's so
Life,
satisfying.
cinnamon life,
Yeah.
that goes hard.
They also make a cinnamon Chex, cinnamon
Mm.
sugar Chex, which is kind of like a cinnamon toast crunch type thing. That I
Okay.
do love for the taste. I'll house those too. They're pretty good. Talking about cereal.
Nice.
I was gonna try the Kelsey cereal, which is just cinnamon toast crunch, the Reese's cereal, and then the marshmallows from was it Trix?
No.
No,
The
Lucky
Trix?
Charms.
No, Lucky Charms. Lucky
Yeah.
Charms. Yeah,
Tricks go hard too.
they were sold out, so I was kind of disappointed
Dang.
because I wanted to get diabetes.
Yeah, from one bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good answers. It's been a while since we had an OnlyFans. If you want to submit one, literally ask us anything. Just leave a comment on YouTube or let's go to our website,
Twitter.
gwcpod.com. Twitter. We have a Discord. The link will be in the bottom of YouTube or
Text Joe specifically. His number is 704-3. I'm just kidding.
Huh?
Speaking of, did y'all see that NBA dude get doxxed live on air?
No.
see that?
Oh,
So this is not related to NASCAR at all, but there's these I don't watch basketball at all, but there these on one of the basketball shows. It wasn't the one with like Shaq and all them on it. It was some random one. Again, probably very well known in the NBA community, not me. Anyway, two guys are talking, and one of them is like this old coach. Don't know who he is. The other's just like a commentator, I guess. And he makes some comment. He's like, man, he's like, coaches make so much money, man. He's like, yeah, you should really be doing this like pro bono. And then the other guy got like really offended by that, like not like screaming at him, but you could tell it was under his skin. And he's like, man, like, let's see how much you're making. Like, oh, what about that vacation house you have down in Destin, Florida?
oh,
What about your other vacation house, that's over, and like starts giving like general locations. And the guy's like, all right, man, blah, 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 trying to keep going on. they move on talking about something. They start talking about the actual game they're supposed to be talking about, like, you know, the recap or whatever. And then like a few minutes in, the guy just goes 256 South, like South 7th Street, Destin, Florida. He's like, oh, that's your rental home. And it was like, all right, man. He's like, you're not home right now, so it doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. Like, anyway, like straight up drops the dude's address live on air. They don't cut from it or anything. Like, just you got to look it up. It's wild. Like, that dude's never gonna be.
So who's doing the
TV
interview?
again.
Just some random guy or what?
It's like it's two hosts of the show. Like, it's like an old coach that's like now a host of the show, and some other dude's a host of a show. Like, they're like comment. I guess the guys who are always on the show. Anyway, I'll find the link and send it to y'all. But for those of you listening, just look up like NBA docs, and let me just search that on Twitter. No, it didn't come up. Anyway, I'll search something about that. Oh no, it did come up. It's on Legion Hoops is the Twitter account that has the link for it. So anyway, hilarious.
Post that in our Discord.
Yeah.
What was it? The coach for the Lions. They were talking about how he had to basically up and move real quick because he got doxxed. Like, man, that's crazy. But all right, let's hit the Las Vegas race coming up this weekend. Any thoughts, expectations?
I think it should be solid. I mean, it's Kansas like track, and Kansas has been one of the better next gen tracks. So it's one of the few tracks I have high expectations for. I'm excited for it.
I was looking at the driver average finishes, and Martin Truex is actually on the top, followed by Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch. I thought Christopher Bell was up there. He is not even close, so I fucked up with my Survivor pick. But no, I'm excited for it. I think
finished second last year.
Did he? Maybe the list. Maybe I just
remember he finished.
Missed it.
He was chasing Larson down and just barely missed him.
Yeah, you're right. William Byron's up there. Dude, why is Christopher Bell's 18th with an average finish of 16.4? That's kind of nuts.
Jeez.
Hopefully we do better.
33rd, yeah. So he finished 33rd earlier this year. He's got a 34th, 24th, 24th, 33rd. Yeah. Ugh. But he's also got a
Larson
7th.
Have both been like just, I don't want to say win and lose, but yeah, it's like I was looking at Larson's like average finish for the playoffs. He's like 15th or something like that. Like he's like really low. Like I forget what his.
Well,
I mean, he got like 15 point something.
Yeah, I think how Kansas went,
right?
How Dega went. Like he's getting the wins when he needs them, but yeah,
it just seems like them two guys are just like either they're up front or they're wrecking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot of good tracks for a lot of these drivers, right? You know, those three alone. I'm excited. I think this is a great lineup for your final 8. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yep. We're actually going racing. No super speedway bullshit. No crazy road course restarts. Just some racing. So should be a good round.
Should be good. I'm excited for it.
Yep. All right. Anything else for this week, guys? Okay. Well, make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We'll be back next Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya. See ya.
Say it. I'm just gonna hit end.
Normally you wait. You normally have all of us leave, and then so I was waiting for that. Okay. I love you.
This has been a For Frequency's Sake Podcast Network production. For more great content, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.